All right, friends, it's T-Men, and I'm back with, I guess you could call this an educational video. So I guess we're gonna react to this short by this guy called Brandonhale. He does a lot of these goofy shorts. He tries to give his fake philosophy to everyone, whatever. So he says, how to get bigger and rounder shoulders. You wanna know how?
You want bigger?
You wanna know how? Just do what he's doing, take steroids. Because none of his exercises are gonna fucking get you those shoulders. Because nobody in that gym that does the exact same exercises like him have those fucking shoulders. Oh, I know, because he's one in a gajillion, right?
And rounder looking shoulders, but you've been having a hard time accomplishing that. Here is something that's gonna help you a ton when it comes to the way that you train in your shoulders.
Yeah, this is gonna help you a ton. Yeah, here, you wanna know how to get these big round shoulders? This exercise is gonna help you a ton. You see that machine? There's been thousands of people that have come and gone on that machine, and guess what? They never ever got shoulders like that doing that fucking machine. This guy's full of shit. Like I said, you want those shoulders that he's got lifting the way he does, concentrically? Take steroids.
And this applies to any of your side delt or rear delt exercises. But every time I perform one of these exercises, right now I'm on.
Exactly, every time he performs. Bodybuilding, we're not performing. It's impossible. It's not based on performance. It compromises. It tells you in science. Eccentric exercise compromises sportive performance. So we're not performing, but he's a performing slave. So you're telling me that performance builds muscles? How the fuck does a performance build a fucking muscle, man?
Side lateral machine. My first few reps are always very slow.
This is the biggest piece of shit on the internet to date. This guy right here.
And basically my goal is just to establish like a good mind-muscle connection in my side delt.
I love this. My goal is to establish a mind-muscle connection. You think mind-muscle connections build myofibulars, bro? Do you fucking people actually believe that if you establish a mind muscle with this fucking machine, that's gonna magically build a myofibular? You have to be fucking brain dead.
Right, because if you start with too much weight and you can't go slow, what I find is your traps tend to...
Look at this. The range of motion is pure concentric. It's isometric concentric. That's not associated with growth. That's associated with a loss. You shorten muscles. But because he takes steroids, he's building the sarcoplasm. He's expanding it. You understand me? Doing this. That's why he says pump in the video. Yeah, like all the rest of these phony lifters. If you want to look like him, these shoulders, take drugs. Take the same drugs he's taking. Why doesn't he just tell you that?
Take over, right? So what my first few reps are going to look like on this machine is I'm going to raise up and then hold at the top for a good couple of seconds.
And how many of you are your shoulders get built like his doing that? I bet you've been going there every day even trying to get that. And it's still not becoming like that. Want to know why? Because you have to take what he's taking. Drugs. You have to inject them in your ass and shit. And take these pills and everything. And age the fuck out of yourself.
Make sure that the tension is in my side delts and then go down very, very slow.
Can you imagine taking drugs to lift to build artificial muscles, like fake muscles that are maintained by this drug? How ridiculous is that? And so he's going to say, well, but I'm strong, I lift a heavy weight. Yeah, well, the steroids bind with the receptor, giving you maximum force production. That's what it's for. That's when they bind, they give you that. The hormones have to bind to receptors. They too give you strength. Testosterone gives you strength.
And then my first...
And not the nervous system helps as well. But the testosterone, when it binds with that receptor, bam, that strength's going to go through the roof.
Maybe 6 to 8 reps on this are going to look like that. And then once...
That's why they call it enhanced performing. Because that's what he's doing. He's performing. Yeah, taking these drugs. He's performing. And he thinks he's building, but he's not building. He's performing. That's totally different. Building and performing are two different things.
That muscle gets nice and pumped up. There's a bunch of blood in it. Then that can...
Yeah, that muscle is nice and pumped up with a bunch of blood. But it isn't damaged and going through a repair and a remodeling. It's not going through a remodeling because it's not damaged. Because there's no eccentrics here at all whatsoever.
connection will be established. And then my
Yeah, see, the mind muscle will be established when the pump and the blood goes in there. Oh, man.
last few reps on the exercise will be quicker, and I do like to do a lot of partials at the end. And when it comes
God, this guy is so full of shit. And, you know, I go through the exercise, and then I like to do quite a few partials. Partial what? Concentrics? What an idiot.
to lateral raises, I typically like to do 15 to 20 reps. And that is mostly for this reason, because basically my first few reps are reps where I'm establishing a good mind-muscle connection, and then I go beyond failure by the end of my set. So if you want bigger...
He goes beyond failure at the end of his set to fail. None of that made sense whatsoever, man. All you were going to fail if you follow him, unless you take the drugs that he took. See what I mean? If you inject the same genetics that he has, if you buy the same genetics and inject those genetics in you, then you too will have superior genetics. Fake superior
and rounder looking.
Get it, dude? I'll see you in the next one. Tell us what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Brandonhale. He's full of shit.